What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Attack on Cowboys. And just like Attack on Cowboys, Dakota Prescott is back. The Dak is back. Let's get right into it today, ladies and gentlemen, as we have an injury update on the starting quarterback of America's team, Dak Prescott. Be sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe for more Dallas Cowboys content on the regular, even during the down period of the offseason. All right, see here, Brandon Lurie just tweeted the Cowboys' Dak Prescott is throwing and looking good while doing it. Prescott had positive things to say about his recovery a few weeks ago, saying, quote, "I'm feeling good. I'm doing more and more. The last 2 weeks have been huge and progressive for me." Remember, that's what he said 2 weeks ago. But if we actually take a look at Dak Prescott in these snippets here, there's a lot to be observed. For one, you can tell right here, Dak Prescott is in some very, very good shape. My boy is looking extremely lean right here. This is probably the leanest I've seen Dak look in a very long time. Remember last season, Dak came into the year looking really bulky, like he had been hitting the weights pretty hard and been in the gym a lot. This season, I think that because he's getting older, and this is something that you usually see older athletes start to do. Even LeBron, think about how LeBron looked when he was in his mid-20s versus how he looks now. Older athletes realize that the way to increase their longevity, or the way to take some of that strain off of their body, is to lose some of the bulk. And Dak Prescott looks to be following that exact blueprint in an attempt to keep his body healthy, in an attempt to take some of that strain, some of that pressure, some of that stress off of his joints, off of his muscles, off of his soft tissues. And I think that that is a very good sign that Dak is in this type of shape. And we are still roughly about 4 months away from the start of training camp. And actually, maybe like almost exactly 4 months away from the start of training camp. So Dak looks really good. Looks like he's in really good shape. And I mean, he looks like he's ready to go right now. It looks like if he needed to, he could hit a football field right now. But let's take a look at what he actually looks like as he's throwing the ball, because again, we see Dak, man, and my brother is looking much better than he has looked. We can see him. He's in full form right here, y'all. He's doing his drop backs. He's putting that pressure on that back leg. You don't really see him limping around or looking hampered or anything. I like what I'm seeing right here, man. This looks like QB1, and QB1 looks like he's in some of the best shape that he's been in his life, bruh. So I love it. I love everything that I'm seeing. I love the fact that I see Dak out here throwing to some of his guys. I don't necessarily love the fact that I see guys like Jalen Tolbert, some of these other guys out here, not because I don't like them as players, but because that makes me feel like, man, anytime I see stuff like this, it just kind of makes me feel like we may end up facing a reality where Jalen Tolbert is seriously looked at as one of the top 3 receivers on this roster. And I just have some serious concerns about that, just based off of what we've seen from a Jalen Tolbert, not just from a receiving standpoint, even though I do think he disappears quite a bit and he doesn't get open enough or make himself a target enough to where, to me, he could be a reliable 2 or even a wide receiver 3 on a roster. But his blocking ability for a team that's moving towards more of a smash mouth, ground and pound, run first type of play style, Jalen Tolbert concerns me because I just don't know how much of a place on the field he's going to have when he isn't all that great of a blocker. There's several times you can look at the tape and Tolbert he's planking in midair, trying to block guys and trying to chip guys and stuff, and he's just not impeding defenders much as it pertains to that. So that concerns me about Jalen Tolbert more than anything. Do I think that he can be a productive wide receiver? Yes, he's shown that he could be a productive wide receiver 3. He's gotten 600 yards the last couple of seasons, whatever it may be. So he's shown that he can be a productive wide receiver 3. But in a receiver room currently consisting of a CeeDee Lamb, just CeeDee Lamb essentially, we got to upgrade that a little bit. And the more work I see Jalen Tolbert putting in with Dak, and just the more connected I see these guys, it really concerns me that he's going to end up being that guy. I hope the Cowboys have other plans. I hope Jalen Tolbert and Dak just have, one of those relationships that kind of transcends the fact that they're teammates, and maybe they just appreciate each other on a personal level. And so Jalen Tolbert's going to be working out with him regardless. Even if Tolbert isn't on the Cowboys, maybe this is something we're going to see regardless in the future. But I love what we're seeing from QB1 right here, man. He looks like he's ready to play to me. As far as the mobility aspect, I saw some people going, oh, he's a lot thinner. That means Dak is going to be running again. I'm going to put it like this, y'all. This is why it's very important that we get some playmakers on this team. This is why it's very important that we get a legitimate running back on this team. This is why it's very important, because we should not be wanting to see Dak Prescott taking the ball down and running with that bug 5 or 6 times a game. We shouldn't be wanting to see that. We need to have enough weapons, enough other guys that's available to where Dak shouldn't be responsible for having to do that unless the situation causes for it. Now, with the shape that he's in, I do believe that he's going to be in a place where he can run that ball, but I just don't know how the recovery of a hamstring goes, especially the recovery of one that was damaged to the extent that Dak's was. So I just don't want to, especially this first year coming back, I don't want to see Dak going back to 2016 Dak. I don't want to see Dak going back to trying to run all over the field. I don't want to see that version of the Dak Prescott. I want to see a version of a Dak Prescott in a much more structured, a much more organized offense that has an identity, and they're going to use the game plan effectively. That's what I want to see Dak Prescott doing. I do not want to see Dak having to throw the ball 40 times. I don't want to see Dak having to run the ball 10 times. I want to see him throwing the ball anywhere between 20 to 25 times per game, and the running back getting about 20 carries a game as the RB1. Outside of RB1, let's give a handful of carries to the guys behind him on the bench as well. That, to me, is your formula, going towards more of a 45-55 split in favor of the run game as it pertains to your play calling. That is more sort of the formula there. So, no, I don't want to see this thinner version of a Dak Prescott out there running around on the field. I'm not going to say he's going to be Jaden Daniels next season, but Dak just watched the playoffs like the rest of us. Dak just watched Jaden Daniels extend plays and make plays for his team and get his team in position to the win. And Dak just watched Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl extend plays and make plays with his legs. So maybe Dak Prescott is trying to condition himself so he can kind of add that back to his toolkit a little bit, especially at this point in his career. I mean, you're getting at a stage where it's like, what do you have to lose? You know, you're getting upper in age. This is probably your last real contract with the Cowboys. If you sign another one, I probably wouldn't expect it to be more than like a 2-year deal or something like that, if it were to happen. So this is likely going to be your last big contract with the Cowboys you're about to start. You don't have anything to lose. It's balls to the wall. Let's see what we can make happen, and let's see what it looks like when everybody is giving their full effort out there on the field and using their full repertoire to their disposal, right? And that's kind of where I want to see a Dak Prescott. And I think that this right here is an absolutely great sign to see him looking like this and doing this type of activity, like I said, 2-3 months before they're even going to report to OTAs, let alone training camp. So Dak is 100% going to be back and ready and fully ready to go by the time the season starts. QB1 is locked and loaded, ladies and gentlemen. How about them Cowboys?
Calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still them boys? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Oh, shut up, my boy. Hey! I'm still them boys.